Welcome to You Are Your Name. This is Daken Ariel, your host. I have a special guest today, Jonn Regan, who's agreed to come onto the podcast to discuss how he's used cycles, specifically the cycle chart, to make his life more effective. Thank you for joining us, Jonn.
Nice to be here.
So, how long have you been using the cycle chart?
Well, I started studying the Kabalarian principle back in the mid 80s, and that's when I started learning about the cycles. And of course, knowing about the cycles and actually using them were two very different things. In those early years, I would ask advice from students regarding important decisions, like when I saw my restaurant, or like taking a trip to France for a holiday, or buying a car. I was not truly using the charts myself. More often than not, I rely on my own judgment, and at times I even ignored the advice I received. So you could see as a result, I did test the cycles many times, and those tests often came with consequences.
So, when you sold your business, you had a student give you advice. How did that work out?
It worked out as basically being supported with the idea of selling my business and the reason why I was selling my business at the time. So the advice and the support from the student was very helpful. I didn't sell my business in an 8th year. I actually sold it in my 6th year, which wasn't the best, but I really had no option at the time. My family came first.
Did you use cycles in other areas of your life?
I would say at first I really tested the cycles. One example that stands out was buying out my first business partner in the 4-cycle year against the advice I'd been given. Turned out to be a very, very poor investment. That same year, I borrowed money to invest in what was presented as a guaranteed stock opportunity, and I lost the investment. So I was being stubborn. I ignored the fact that I was in a 4 years, so that's too good to pass, and made a mistake. Looking back, much of that testing was very unnecessary. If I'd looked at my cycle chart and followed its guidance, many of those outcomes could have been avoided. Eventually, life taught me a simple lesson. If you continue doing the same thing, expect the same result, something in your thinking must change. So by the late 90s, roughly 10 years after first learning about the cycles, I began reading my charts regularly and relying less on others for guidance. I had finally proven to myself that the cycles were valuable at that point.
How did you use it at that point?
The cycles, I use them for myself, but I also use them for my children and my wife as well, because they would ask me often for guidance, for advice. And over the years, I found countless practical uses for the cycles. Sometimes they helped with major decisions, such as planning vacations, purchasing a car, or organizing business activities, and going after job opportunities, by the way. And other times, they guided small matters like scheduling medical appointment, planning family trips. We used to planning family outings based on our cycles, inviting friends for a social evening, having when to travel.
So, for instance, you mentioned that medical appointments, you would choose a good cycle day and a good cycle hour?
There's not much flexibility in choosing the hour, but the day I can always, busy that day or whatever. So yes, mostly for the day.
And what would be an example of how you helped your children with advice?
Oh, I had a good example with my son. He came home one day driving a golden BMW, beautiful car. He was taking it for a test drive because he was intended to buy it. But I advised him against it because he was in a bad cycle. Did buy another BMW, a silver one, but then he was in a better cycle. So I managed to convince him that that was a better buy.
Have you had experience of buying a car in a 4-cycle and then having problems with it?
Well, I did buy a car at first cycle, it was the 4 year, and I knew what I was doing, but I figured, well, it's the car. But I ended up not keeping it very long. It was brand new, and a friend of mine spilled coffee over the light blue seat, and I had to live with that stain as long as I had the car, which was not very long. So it was a bit of a mistake to buy the car, yes.
How did you find working with your own cycle and then merging your wife's cycle for major family decisions? Was that difficult?
Not really. She was 1 cycle a year behind me, and we usually managed to make it work.
My wife and I are a year apart as well. And so when you hit an adverse period, it's longer than normal because you're looking at the adverse period of your wife as well as yourself. Let's say you want to renovate the house. You wouldn't do it when either of you were in an adverse period because it just wouldn't be as conducive to success. But I found that you just have planned for both.
Absolutely, yes.
So we've had physical cycle charts for 75 years since Mr. Parker, the founder of the Kabalarian philosophy, created them. Recently, we converted them into a cycle chart app. I wondered if you have any comments on using the app at all.
Oh, definitely, yes. I consider it to be a very valuable tool. The app. For many years, I relied on the printed charts, but the convenience and accessibility of the app, its proximity, transform my experience, really. It keeps my eye cycles closer at hand, allows me to see not only today's influences, but tomorrow's, next month, next year, and the following years, right at my fingertip. One more thing I appreciate about the app, the cycle description has been updated from the written text today. So yes, I do recommend the app very enthusiastically. It's often the last thing I check before going to sleep. And the first thing I look at in the morning together with the weather. A very subtle but meaningful balance to my daily life. I really appreciate the app. It's the closest app I have on my phone.
Oh, that's great. So do you have any final comments you'd like to make, John, for our listening audience?
I knew you were going to ask me that. And I thought about it a little bit. And I came to a conclusion that based on the 1 Minute Manager by Ken Blanchard, I was thinking that if good nutrition is a matter of common sense, then effective time management should be as well. We understand that poor eating habits eventually affects the body, yet we often overlook the fact that the poor use of time affects the quality of our lives. So time, like health, is a precious resource. Planning it wisely helps us fulfill our responsibilities, nourish the mind, if you like, and create greater peace, purpose, and balance in daily living. The app is what helps to manage our time effectively. So,
good thought. One of the aspects of time management is they're trying to optimize the quantity of time, but they don't understand that there's a quality to time. So if you're in a particular cycle that's relative to focusing on details, if you do promotion, you're going to have challenges. Whereas if you're in a cycle that is focused on promotion and you do detailed work, again, you're going to have challenges because you're not aligning yourself with that quality of time. So really, time management is quantity and quality. The Cycle Chart app really gives you that second dimension to using your time.
That's right. That's what the cycles have helped me achieve. I continue to do so.
So you've used them for 40 years or so, and you're still using them every day.
Oh, I use them more than ever. Yes, more than ever.
Well, thank you, John. Appreciate your time and your insights.
Well, you're very welcome, Daken.
If you'd like to learn more about the cyclic law, you can download our free app, which is called Cycle Chart, on either the Android or Apple Store. Set up a free account. You can create an account with your email address or your Gmail or your Apple account or even your cell phone number. All you have to do is give it your month and date of birth, and it will configure your personal cycle information for a 5-month window. The current month, plus 2 months in the future and 2 months in the past. So that should give you a chance to evaluate your cycles relative to the months, days, and years. So until then, happy thoughts.